me probably the most in my business and really my personal journey, and I'm going to share a little bit about my story. But my name is Tina Salisbury. I am an Emerald coach and leader of Team Core Power, and excited to have you all on the call tonight. So, leading with nutrition. Let me tell you a little bit about why it's important. I myself was somebody who's always been active, always exercised, did boot camps. I've been in endurance athletics, and really always never had a problem working out. In fact, always worked out typically at least an hour a day, and just because I really enjoy it. But what I found is really that my weight really stayed the same or plateaued or maybe changed a little bit, but I never really lost the extra 25 pounds I was holding on to that I gained from having babies. And a lot of it was really just the fact that I didn't work on my diet. I didn't eat poorly, and obviously I worked out, so I never really gained a significant amount of weight, but 25 pounds really makes a difference. So 80% of our health is built around nutrition and getting results and losing weight, so it really makes it a key factor to why it's important. Now, I think with Beachbody, a lot of people know about the programs and are very interested in the fitness, but we don't really know, or at least I didn't know a lot about the nutrition and the options that it could provide to me, even the nutrition with the programs and implementing that. So it wasn't really until my husband decided to join in a challenge group for the 21-day fix that we started really working on our nutrition. And at the time, I wasn't really engaged in the plan. I was about 7 months pregnant, but I was really involved in helping him to be successful with his nutrition, and just really found that it was a program that was very easy to do. It wasn't cumbersome. I always had that barrier to entry and thinking about counting calories and looking at all of the different things I was going to have to track, or how to put my food together with the right amount of carbohydrates and vegetables and proteins. Just all seemed very overwhelming, so I never really tried. I never really gave it a shot. So in finding this and then just seeing how much he loved Shakeology, how much it was helping him to add that into his life, I decided to jump in too, and I started making some switches to the way I was eating and found a lot of success, and actually fairly quickly found some good success. And because of that, I really wanted to start sharing that with people, because if I could do it, and I was very busy, and I knew other people that were very busy and probably had the same barriers to entry that I did, so being able to help provide some value around that was something I was really interested in. So my journey with Beachbody was really about sharing nutrition more than anything. So I'm very passionate to teach you a little bit more and hopefully help you to help more people as you learn about this too. So there's not really one right or wrong way to have a diet in your life, and I'm going to encourage you to not ever be on a diet. Teach your customers to have a diet, to find a style of eating that works for them, that they're going to be able to implement long term and feel good about making good lifestyle changes. So really, to do that, I encourage you to be your own health detective. Get curious. Always be curious about what you're doing, how you're doing it. As we talk about Shakeology and about the nutritional programs that Beachbody has, try those. Try those. Get your own experience. Share what, the more you know, the more you can share. So gaining that personal experience is not only a vital behavior, but a critical vital behavior, because if you don't have that experience, you're not going to be to speak as passionately or as thoroughly to what you know. And take the time to learn. There's a lot of tools. We're going to talk about a few of those tonight, but there's a lot of opportunity for you to learn about ingredients, to learn about how things are made up and what specific things are help to do in our body. But gain some experience. Get curious about what these products are, what Shakeology is, what's in it, why is it really helpful to you, other than just helping you feel good and lose weight, because it's not there to promote weight loss. It's there to really promote good health, which in turn does lead to weight loss. So develop your story through the experiences that you're getting with the products. So Shakeology, why is it really important to us, to our business? It's tied to everything. Nutrition is the core foundation in everything within Beachbody and what we do as coaches. It promotes good health. It helps you get good fitness results. just good results in general as far as losing weight. From a business side, it's tied to Success Club, to your rank advancements and commissions and rewards, your volume, everything that's going to help you grow your team and to grow, financially, and also to help your health is really tied to Shakeology. So it's key, it's important. So let's learn a little bit about it, and hopefully you'll have a few more takeaways today about what Shakeology is, why it was created, and what it can do for you. So first of all, why was it created? As a people, we, our world has changed. We're very nutritionally deprived. The easiest foods for us to access are not healthiest, very processed, and we're just very undernourished, and we're an overweight society. So we need to get more nutrient in our bodies, but there's less options there to provide that nutrition to us. So it really leads to bad habits, and to those bad habits, lead to diseases and things like that. I think that this is really interesting as you kind of look at this slight edge effect, or you might know it as the compound effect. But just the slightest nutrition deficiencies really add up over time, and as those slowly add up, it starts to lead to some really chronic problems. Just looking at digestive issues, or just weight gain in general. It doesn't happen overnight, but every day, some of those poor choices can really lead to huge, a year from now saying, what happened? Where'd these 30 pounds come from? Which can, obesity leads to a lot of just energy issues and lack of ability to do things in general, but diabetes, mental imbalances, anxiety, depression, inflammation, premature aging, a lot of things that, just chronically can really damage our life over time, where we really have a better opportunity to have a good quality of life just through what we feed our body every day. So what does Shakeology do to really combat these problems? So it gives us a daily dose of nutrient-rich foods. So it helps us to really get a well-rounded diet and things into our diet that we typically probably won't get from just our typical diet and the foods that we eat. So it helps to really optimize our health, and give us the things that we need. So one thing I like to really make sure that people know is this isn't a fad. It's not, like I said, it's not a weight loss shake. It's there to help promote some benefits that are really going to help us as a result to lose weight. So, it's not slim fast, it's not a lot of these quick fixes, 2 weeks and you're going to lose 15 pounds. I want people to really, the more you educate your customers about this being a good tool to really implement for good health over their lifetime, the better they're going to really understand really what Shakeology is, because it's very much misunderstood. And a lot of times people use it while they're on the 21-day fix for 3 weeks, and then they feel like they're done. They don't need it anymore after they've gotten some results, and that's not really the case. It's really there to help promote and always give you good nutrition, which then leads to the results of feeling better, having more energy, losing weight, all of those things that we really want to have. I think it's really good to educate your customers and educate yourself about ingredients and what is in Shakeology. Shay Stanford did a really great national wake-up call. I think it was late last year. I'm gonna really encourage you to go back into the archives and look at the Shakeology call that she did, because she's a holistic nutritionist, and she was really able to give a good perspective on what to look for and what not to look for in your foods and in Shakeology and in some of the competing products out there that I think will really help. And some of those things are looking at artificial flavors, sweeteners, colors, soy lecithin. Those are things that can really negatively affect our body, and chemical additives and things that are fillers and not really there to provide value and good nutrition. So take a look at that. I think that's important. So I really wanted to really kind of point to this PDF that you can actually get in your backline office if you go to your business or sales and marketing, business tools, and then under Shakeology, you can find this there. But I utilize this a lot. So there's kind of 3 questions that we want to ask that I think are really that this speaks well to. What's in Shakeology? How does it work? And what does it do? This really breaks it down into the various nutrient groups and what those can do for us, what ingredients are made up in those, nutrient groups, and then really what's the benefits, how does it help us? And, you can see that there's so many different things that Shakeology can do. So when you're talking to your customers and you're really learning about their specific needs, you can then go to this and point to the specific nutrient groups or ingredients or things that can really help them with their specific problems or issues or things that they want to resolve. So it really simplifies nutrition. It's so, there's so much there, but you can really kind of hone in and define what your customers need. So using, being aware of what these nutrient groups are, being able to speak to some of the ingredients and really what they do will help you become an expert to your customers. I use these I've started doing shake and shares at my house where I invite my customers to come over and try sample different flavors of Shakeology, but it's a really great time for me to educate them a little bit more about nutrition in general, and these are a lot of the things that I speak to, why our body needs antioxidants, do they have digestive issues, and how is it helpful for them in that case to have these digestive enzymes and a probiotic and a prebiotic. It just really has helped me, to better my own nutrition, but to really be a resource for my customers to help them learn about what they need to be doing and putting in their bodies too. So how do you help your customers? Let's talk about some processes, and I'm going to give you some examples of some things that I do, but you help them by sharing what you know. You don't have to be a nutritionist to be good at helping people understand the value of Shakeology, to help them understand how the 3-day refresh will help them, or now even with the Beachbody performance line, what those things are going to be able to do for them. But, again, just gain your own experience and what you know, and then share that information with other people. So we're going to really focus in on a couple of areas that you can really do that. The first is just through asking questions, really understanding and finding out what your customers need, what your friends and family are looking for to better in their health, and then connecting what you know to match what those needs are. So as we learn, it's very natural to be very excited and want to share everything with everyone, right? You just know all of these things, and even if they don't ask for it or want to know those things, we just naturally want to share that because we're so excited. One practice that I really want you to hone in on, and I'd love to role play and do some things with you as a group and to just really help you more be cognizant of, is that people don't need to know everything, and you don't need to tell people everything to help them get excited and to be ready to purchase a product like Shakeology. They just want to know what they need to know to fix their problems. So listening becomes very key as you're asking questions. Make sure you're really listening to what they're saying and then connecting just the knowledge they need to know with what they're asking for. So if they're just if their need is that they are pre-diabetic and they really need something to help regulate their blood sugars and things like that, they don't need to know all of Shakeology and maybe going off and talking about the antioxidants and how that's going to help your skin and all of those things, right? They really want to know, probably share the clinical trials and share some of the things that are helping to benefit them from a medical standpoint, in losing weight, and how that will help be able to maintain their sugar levels and things like that. So just again, my point is just connect back to what they want to know. Hold back from just having this whole way of how you want to share Shakeology, and really listen to what they need. And I'll give you an example. It's not Shakeology related, but I think you can assimilate to it. My husband and I were going out to buy a new car. This was when we had 2 kids and we're moving to a third, so we felt like we needed something bigger than just a standard car. So we were looking at some SUVs, and we went into this dealership and had in mind a specific car that we wanted to look at. And we asked the guy that came out, the salesperson, to tell us more about it. And he immediately said, "Oh, you're going to love this better than X car where we'd just been, because it's bigger, it's badder, and it's better." And immediately we were like, "Okay, thank you," and we left. We didn't even test drive the car, because, you know, for us, what we were looking for, you know, we knew we needed a bigger car, but we really weren't excited about getting a bigger car. So, you know, we wanted something that was going to be better for us, but also, you know, keep us a little bit closer to a car feel, and some things like that. So, you know, his pitch, so to speak, of, you know, this being a bigger car, a badder car, which we, you know, we just want a functional car, and that it was better, without really knowing what our requirements were, or what we needed, what we wanted out of a car, just really turned us off, and we walked away. You know, instead of him helping us, you know, if he would have just asked us a few questions first about what we needed and what we were looking for, I bet we would have had a really good experience there, and he would have been able to match some things that we needed to that particular car, because I'm sure it would have been a good car for us. But, you know, how he presented that to us, just immediately said, "Nope, this isn't what we're looking for." And we went back and bought the other car. So translate that into your business. Listen first, ask questions first, and then provide them with the information that they know, that will help them the best with Shakeology, and to understand that. So let me tell you just a couple of questions that I think are good when you're looking at asking people questions. And if you'll look in our group page under the file section, you'll also find 2 pages of, you know, just health assessment questions, things that you can ask to your customers. And those I got from Summit, from a Shakeology seminar that I went to there. And I think that it's just so key. You know, don't be afraid to spend time here. This is where really in the invitation process you should really be spending the most of your time, because we really want to help understand what people need, but also help them understand what they need. So let's go through this a little bit. So what are you trying to accomplish? You know, what is their overall goal? Are they trying to lose weight? Are they trying to tone up? You know, do they just want a healthier quality of life, more energy? You know, what are the things that are important to them? And once you find that out, really dig deeper, right? Find out why they want to accomplish those things. Now, this isn't just important for you. You know, having that why obviously gives them more of a emotional connection, right, to why they're wanting to lose this weight. You know, it's great everyone wants to lose 30 pounds, but why is it really particularly important to this particular person to lose 30 pounds? What will it mean to their life if they're able to lose this weight, or if they're able to tone, or if they, you know, just have a better diet? You know, what does that really mean to them? And I'll give you just one personal example of one of my clients. And this, you know, just really a couple of days ago, she posted in our group of just her successes, and she's been on her journey for probably 5 or 6 months now. But when I had originally talked to her and we kind of talked through her goals, she had a goal to lose a lot of weight, about over 100 pounds. So obviously that's going to take some time to do. So, you know, when I talked to her, I said, "Hey, you know, what's really driving you to lose this weight? What does it mean? You know, what is it going to mean to you when you have lost this weight?" And her big why, and one of the things that she really wanted to have in her life, was that she wouldn't have to go shop at the plus size stores. She's like, "I don't want to shop at plus size stores for my clothes. I want to be able to go into any store that I want to, and I want to be able to know that there's going to be clothes there that fit me, and that I can walk out of there." So that's one of her big whys, and it's been really good, because it's hard to make these changes. It's so hard to make changes to your fitness and to your nutrition especially, and to just foster those new habits. So we knew it would be tough, and I told her there's going to be times where it'll be tough, and I want you to think about why you're doing this when those times come, so that you can be strong and you can continue on. So she's had some ups and downs, but she's always been able to turn back to this why and really understand what she wanted to get to, where she wanted to get to. And just a couple of days ago in our group, she posted that she and her sister had gone shopping. She was two sizes smaller, and, you know, she was able to walk into this store with confidence and buy what she wanted. And she's not done with her journey, and she's going to continue on. But think about the confidence that gives her now, you know, to keep going. And she just said, "Thank you so much for for continuing to push me, for continuing to believe in me. And I told her, thank you for believing in you and for knowing why you wanted to do this. So it's so helpful. Without that personal connection, without that vision of them seeing why they want to make these changes, it makes change very hard. And a lot of times people tend to give up. And that's where we have a real opportunity to not only understand that so that we know how we can help them best, but for them to understand that, because sometimes people haven't thought through that far, and this is a great opportunity we have to give them that gift of a way to keep them motivated through their journey. How long have you wanted to make these changes, and what have you tried in the past? What did you like? What did you dislike? I think that's such a key thing to do, because people have had their own experience and they know what they've liked and what they haven't liked about those experiences. I talked to a person this week and she adamantly said, no shakes, I've done shakes before, no Shakeology. Now, I could have just left that there, but I chose to really ask her a little bit more about her experience. Okay, so you tried shakes before, what happened? And, what I found was that the products she was comparing Shakeology to were very different, and so knowing more about her experience and what she liked and didn't like about these shakes, I was able to share a little bit more information. Now, she's not a Shakeology customer yet, but I think knowing that will help me to provide some value, and now her seeing and being in a challenge group will help her to connect what other people are experiencing with Shakeology, and because of our conversations, she'll be much better positioned I think to be open-minded about what it is. So make sure you understand what they have gone through, what they've liked that they've gone through, and what they haven't liked, so that, again, we can share the right information with them. So what do you share? What do you share with people after you know what their goals are, after you know why they want to achieve those goals? What can you share with them to help create some value and teach them a little bit more about Shakeology and nutrition and what these tools can do for them? First of all, share your Shakeology story. This is a post that I did, but it's something I actually keep the write-up for this post in my scripts because I use it quite frequently. And my Shakeology story is, I'm a busy mom. I've got 5 kids. By the time I get everybody breakfast and out the door, I haven't taken care of myself. So in the past, what I would typically do is stop and grab something, fast food or something from Jamba Juice, to kind of fill that need because I was hungry and I needed food. So, but it wasn't a great choice. They weren't good choices. So taking Shakeology now is quick, it's convenient, it's a healthy option in my busy life that I know I'm going to get good nutrition, and it keeps me, instead of going and spending the same amount of money or more somewhere else for something not so healthy or just going without, I know I've got good nutrition at least once a day, and I don't use it for weight loss, but it's helped promote and to help me feel good, which has led me to be able to lose weight in my journey. So that's my Shakeology story, and I share that with a lot of people, and whether that's on social media or in person with them. But don't hesitate to share your experience and your story and what you're going through and what you're seeing now. Take a look at my page. I've been trying the Shakeology Boost, so I've posted a few post about my experience with the boost and what we're trying. Again, just sharing what's working for me and what I'm doing and how it's helping my husband and I. Go to the Shakeology website, Shakeology.com. There's a blog there, and there's tons of articles and tips and success stories and things that you can go in and you can share with your customers. So that's a really great resource. And then also videos, using the video library. There's a ton of really great videos on Shakeology, whether it's you want to, your customers are interested to learn more about a medical perspective or the clinical trials that are done, or they want to, they're interested to learn more about the ingredients in Shakeology, or just, overall the value of Shakeology, to recreate Shakeology, $700 worth of products, and they're getting it for $130, plus saving the time and energy of trying to concoct this together. I mean, that's a huge value rate in itself. And, Tony Horton, video comes to mind. It's just a fun way to present that and put that together for them. So use these resources to help you, because after you have found what their needs are, you want to share the information that's going to provide value, again, to go back and to speak to their needs or the specific desires that they have. So use these resources to do that and craft and go in and spend some time in these and find the ones that you like and the ones that you feel best about sharing, and keep those in your arsenal, and create a template that you've got those ready to just cut and paste and be able to send to people. All right, so a little bit about my process and where I start. So when I have somebody that's interested in my challenge groups, what I do is point them to this survey that I've created, my challenge group application. And the reason I do this is it gives me a basic understanding of where they're starting from in their fitness and their nutrition, and it also helps me kind of set the table to talk a little bit more about the Beachbody products and kind of those pillars of success and how I'm going to be able to help them with their nutrition, with their fitness, with accountability and support to help them with that. So I use SurveyMonkey, and it's free. As long as you keep your survey to 10 questions or less, you can create a survey, and it's free. I like this. Again, not only does it give my customers a chance to really think about and put some goals on paper, but it's always accessible for me. I've got people who started filling out who filled out a survey a year ago that I can still go back and access that information and their why and look at why they started, so that as I'm continuing to talk about them, that I've got that information readily available to me. So these are the questions that I ask on my challenge group application. Do you currently have a Team Beachbody coach? What group are you interested in? So I list the different groups that I'm doing each month, and I update that every month on the same survey. What are your current health and fitness goals? What does a typical day of eating look like for you? Why do you want to be part of this challenge group? Do you currently own a Beachbody fitness program? Have you ever tried Shakeology? And what additional information should I know? Giving them an opportunity to really open up about what I need to know to be able to help them. So I take this information, and my process, what I choose to do, I set up a 15-minute call with these individuals to then go over this survey, answer their questions, and talk about next steps, and talk about what I think is best for them in the program, introduce them to Shakeology, talk to them about the challenge groups and what we're going to be doing. And it's just, I love doing that. For me, I love the personal connection. I want them to hear the passion in my voice, the story that I have to share with them. So I really, while it's scary sometimes to put yourself out there in an interaction like that, where you're talking to somebody on the phone or in person versus messaging them, for me, it's a system that's really worked well because of those factors where they just get me. They get more of me. So I encourage you to try it. Put yourself out of your comfort zone a little bit and try it and see if it works for you. And it may or may not. Messaging might be more of your thing. So there's not any one way to do right or wrong, but I encourage you to try it. Try it and see what you think, because I think that personal connection really matters to people. Another reason I like to choose to do that is because, for me, and when I work my business, it's usually early in the morning or later at night, and so a lot of times if I'm just messaging people, it takes a long time to get through that process, and I really want to help them and capture them when they're most excited to get started. So again, I find setting up just a quick phone call or a meeting will help me to help them more quickly and to capitalize on them being excited and ready to go. They might lose motivation if it takes a week for us to get through this conversation. So I don't want to miss that opportunity in that window. So for me, it tightens up the process because I'm choosing not to constantly be on Facebook and constantly be checking messages and responding, because I got to take care of my family and my kids. That's my full-time job as being a mom. So just like if you are working full-time or have other responsibilities, you probably can't do this all day with your job either. So be cognizant of your time, find ways to be efficient, and for me, just having those personal interactions is one way that I'm able to do that and help people most quickly. So, but I start here with this application and the survey, and again, it sets the table. So I think a lot of times, we try to introduce Shakeology, or I hear of coaches introducing Shakeology kind of at the tail end. So they've, maybe somebody's contacted them, they're interested in the 21-day fix. So you talk to them about this program, and then it's kind of oh, by the way, you should get a challenge pack and add Shakeology. And they don't know about Shakeology, and all of a sudden you're trying to provide them something that they really didn't ask for or need. Whereas if you lead with nutrition and you talk to them about why nutrition is such a critical factor, right? 80% of their results are coming from nutrition, and you do that first, do that before you're talking about fitness, your world is changing. All of a sudden, this is really about nutrition and Shakeology first, which is really a critical component, right? Because the fitness will just enhance their results and help them to change more quickly. It's really changing their nutrition. It's going to be at the core of weight loss and the core of feeling better, gaining energy, getting healthier. So we need to do it the right way. We need to teach them about that and lead with nutrition first. So this survey helps me to do that because I'm finding out what that typically looks like for them, what is their starting point, where do they want to make improvements, and then just asking the questions. What do you have a Beachbody fitness program? Have you tried Shakeology? Right there, it just allows me to I've opened the door to talk a little bit about Shakeology early on, rather than kind of a by the way and hey, I'm trying to sell this to you now at the end. I want to make Shakeology the highlight because it's impacted my life and done so much for my nutrition. I want to share that and give that to other people too. So the survey really, it sets the table that we are going to talk about that, and that that's something that I believe in and that I believe everybody should have in their diet, and allows me to a lot more easily have those conversations with people about nutrition and kind of putting that at the forefront. So once you've met their needs, you've talked to them, you've got them set up, they're in your challenge group, they purchased your challenge pack, so they've got their fitness and their nutrition, they're set up, then we take care of them. Success is really in the follow-up. It's not as big of a value for someone to try Shakeology for 1 month and then fall off as a customer as it is for us to create long-term loyalty and to create this good nutrition in their life for a long-term basis as a lifestyle. So the way that you do that is really through making sure that you're taking care of them. I fell victim to this, early as a coach and got them in a challenge group, and, we had fun in the challenge group, but, throughout that time I wasn't really following up on their experience with Shakeology or how they were doing, and again, it was just something that was very misunderstood, and people just thought, okay, well, I did this program, I used Shakeology, I lost this weight, and I don't need it anymore, because I wasn't teaching them really what Shakeology was and what it was doing for them. Now, I've had a lot of customers return because they really see that Shakeology is important to them and what it's done, and what it's done to help their life. But I didn't do that at the beginning, so I want to teach you how to do that early on so that you're providing the best value to your customers. So go one-on-one with your Shakeology customers. Really do a good job consistently as they are getting started to find out how things are going, because sometimes when people have bad experiences or they're not having a great experience with Shakeology and what they're doing, it's because they maybe just need to make a few tweaks. Maybe it's the recipe they're using or how they're making their Shakeology. So many times people, have maybe not made it the best. So in our file section, I also created my Shakeology favorites document, and this is something I send to people right as they sign up in my welcome email to them, to give them my best tips and practices for using Shakeology. So it just teaches them how to make it, how to blend it, if they want a creamier texture, if they want a thicker texture, just what they need to do that. And then I share my my favorite recipes with each flavor of Shakeology, so that they've got a few to try, but also the website for Shakeology, so that if they want to look at more recipes, that they've got some resources there. So I'm trying to really help set them up for success and having a good experience with this, because I know if they have a good experience early, it's going to be something that they're going to find value in and that they want to keep using. So always connect back to their why, understanding again why they wanted to make these changes, and that it's not going to be a quick fix, is going to help you to continue them longer term as Shakeology customers. Ask them about their story. How are they feeling? What is it doing for them? And then take these and make sure you're saving them, because you want to be able to share these testimonials with other people too, and say, to as you come across people who are facing the same issues, say, hey, I have another customer who is, that face that same problem, or had a lot of fatigue throughout the day, and through Shakeology, here's what's happened for them. It'll allow you to create a lot more story and successes, but also really understand what your customers are going through. Ask them how they're making Shakeology, and then use your challenge groups to really talk and open that up to the group. We found such great success in doing that our group, and they're sharing recipes, they're trading recipes, they're getting excited about different flavors, about what's happening and the benefits for them, as they kind of share together in this group. And it's really been a really great thing to see how this has helped them. So let me tell you, and I'm going to show you a couple of examples of things that I do. So this is a dialogue from a customer that I have, and this was after her first week of Shakeology. So I sent her an email. I wanted to check in, see how she was doing, and I asked her to kind of assess how she was doing in a couple of areas. One, was she tracking her weight, and had she seen any weight loss? How was her energy level, her cravings, digestion? I just asked her to kind of rank herself on those things. And she responded back, and that's in the purple here, and you can see, so she said, I lost 4 pounds. Typically so I have the strawberry flavor, and I'm adding fresh berries, sometimes a banana, sometimes some yogurt. Her energy had increased, so she was at a 4, no digestive problems, and I love this. She was feeling less pain in her joints, and she's sure that was because of her increase in walking, which she was able to do because her energy was up. So now she was looking at maybe adding some weightlifting and things like that. So, really gave me a good picture of what her story looked like after that first week, and some things that I could provide to add value to her. So look at my response back, hey, fantastic, keep the work up. I shared with her another recipe for strawberry that I really liked, so giving her some options or some things to consider with her flavor to help her have a good experience with that. And then I sent her my 7-day slim down program. So this is the meal plan that I use in our free clean eating groups. So I just sent that to her and said, hey, here's some different ideas for you to have, but also in that plan it includes 5 days of body weight exercises. So, to help her, I heard that her goal was to add more strength, so I provided a resource and a way for her to do that. So those are some things that, again, listening first, creating some things and adding some value that you can share and give to them. So if she were having a bad experience with her flavor, or maybe she didn't like it or couldn't find what she needed, giving her some different suggestions to add to that was something that, I know I could really maybe help her create and have a different experience. Here's another tool that Beachbody provides to us, and it's called the Customer Follow-Up Tracker, and you can find this in your back office. But I use this, and this is a great way to help keep track of how people are doing through their journey, and it gives you touch points to connect with them about their Shakeology experience. So when they're ordering, and then 24 to 48 hours after they've gotten their order, helping them maybe make sure that they've got it, that they've tried the first one, how did it go. Follow up a week later, 2 weeks later, and then at the end of the first month. Follow up at the beginning of week 2 and 3, or month 2 and 3 and 4. And keep going. Make sure you're consistent, because if you're following up and really checking on how they're doing and helping them, they're going to have a good experience. So for sure, I make sure I have a touch point between week 2 and 3 with people to see how things are going, because it's a good time to really talk to them about any changes they want to make. Do they want a different flavor? Are they looking for some different recipes? And I can set them up for success. Even the fact that Shakeology is coming on auto shipment. We talk about that. I actually send that to them in the welcome letter. But a lot of people don't, they've missed it, or they haven't heard it, or, like I think that they've heard it, and all of a sudden they get a second shipment of Shakeology and they didn't want it, or they didn't know it was coming, and so they're kind of taken aback, and then there's a situation we've got to fix. So making sure that you have good connections with your customers during that time will help you make sure they've got the flavors that they want, that they understand how their program is working, that you're helping them to be set up for success, to have a really great experience with Shakeology. If you create a great experience for your customers, they're going to continue to be your customers. And they're going to really enjoy these products, and they're really going to get the best benefits from them, because of how you're helping them. So take advantage of this tracker, or you can make your own, but I highly suggest that you use these tools to really help your customers. All right, so using your challenge groups. So here's a couple of questions that you can just ask during your daily posts or in your challenge groups to really get a feel of how people are doing and how Shakeology is helping them. Are any of you drinking fewer energy drinks or relying less on coffee? Have you noticed any difference in your cravings? Have you heard of moringa? Talk about some of the ingredients. You're drinking it every day, Google it. Or maybe have them have a contest to see who can find out what the ingredients do and post those back. Again, create some engagement. What meal do you replace your Shakeology with? Have them share their favorite recipes with each other. All of those things will help, create energy and excitement around Shakeology, but also, again, ideas and things that'll help them to have the best experience. And it's really fun to see them doing that for each other, because it's one thing for you to be talking about the products all of the time, but it's another thing for them to really start seeing and hearing so many people enjoying these and getting good benefits from them as well. So use your challenge groups. So that's it. I wanted to kind of just close up and really, again, just kind of hone in on the point of asking questions and why questions are so important, and just making sure you understand people's whys. So let me kind of read this for you. The underlying philosophy is that the coach is asking questions all the time and shining the spotlight back on what the student thinks. Right, so you're listening first, understanding what your customers need, and then giving them what they need. So it's not about telling them everything or them needing to know all of this information. It's really about understanding what they want and where they're trying to go, and giving them the specific information to get there. I felt completely overwhelmed coming back from Summit. I mean, we had so many new product launches. I'm like, how am I going to share all of this information? And I just, I knew if I came back and just kind of did a bunch of sales posts and posted about, hey, there's this and this and this, that it wasn't going to add value and help people. So what I've chosen to do is just be very, cognizant to add in some questions that'll help me to understand, do people need supplements for their workouts? Do the Shakeology boosts, will they be helpful to people, and how? And, I again started just gaining my own experience with these products too, and trying them out and sharing on social media what I'm doing, which is also helps people pose questions and bring things to me, because they're watching that, they're seeing that and saying, maybe I could use something like that. And I had some really great conversations this week around the boosts and around the performance line, because of just posting and sharing the things that I'm doing, and asking good questions to see what they need. So, a good coach is going to ask a lot of questions. They're going to listen to what their customers need, and then they're going to provide value to those needs. You don't need to know everything. It's not about sharing everything. It's really about helping people to get where they need and what they need. And then a wise man doesn't give the right answers. He poses the right questions. Very true, right? It's, you want to talk less, listen more. Talk less, listen more. And, as you ask the right questions, and you ask questions that are really going to help people, again, understand their why, understand what they need and why they want the changes, the answers are going to be easy to find. You're going to know how to help them, where to direct them, what to give them to get the best results, and you're going to be excited about that, and they're going to be excited about that, and they're going to be successful with that too. So I wanted to leave a few minutes to just answer any questions. So if you have some questions, you can post them in the chat there and ask them. I did have one that I wanted to cover, and that was, how long does your process typically take, from start to finish? And to answer that question, I'm going to tell you it's going to vary. Some people, from when they interact with me or say that they're interested, it might just be a day. And they're ready to sign up. Others, have questions and want more information, and it might, it's taken 6 months for them to really be ready to move forward or order, and be ready for that step. So, don't be frustrated by that. Just know that everyone's at a different pace and in a different place in what they need, and just be ready to respond to give them what they need, so again, I like to have the personal interactions or create, that phone call, that touch point. I think, to my customers, it shows that I'm willing to spend some time with them, which creates some value. And, it also, again, helps me just kind of close up that process so we're not, having crickets or you don't hear back from them. If I've got them on the phone, they're going to talk to me. We're going to set up the next steps. And I think that's the important thing, is always making sure that, with every interaction that you have, whether you're doing this online or you're doing it on the phone or, whatever works best for you, to always make sure that you're setting up your next steps with that interaction. So for example, if I've talked to them and I understand what their needs are and they're ready to learn more about the 21-day fix or Shakeology, let's say they want to learn more about the different ingredients in Shakeology. So I have a video that I'm going to send to them. So my message back to them would be, hey, I've got a video that will really help you to understand the ingredients in Shakeology. Would you have time to watch that today? Right? So I'm going to ask them when they're going to be able to look at that resource. So if they say, no, I won't be able to watch it till the weekend, and it's only Wednesday, let's say, then I'm not going to send that to them right now because I don't want it to get lost or pushed off their plate. If they say, I'll be able to look at it Saturday morning, I'll message them back and say, great, I'm going to send that to you Saturday morning so we can follow up that day. If they do say, yes, I'll have time to watch that tonight when I get home from work, great. I'll go ahead and send that to them and I'll say, perfect, I'm going to go ahead and send you the video later this afternoon. Can we follow up? When are you available to follow up so we can talk about your questions from the video, right? So I'm asking them to then give me a time that we can follow up. So we're setting up a specific date and time. Date and time, date and time, date and time. And I'm going to teach you that because it's important to set up that follow-up, not just say, hey, well, let's follow up after you watch it, but after you've watched it tonight, what time do you have time that we can connect, we can follow up? Can we do that at 8 o'clock tonight, tomorrow morning on your way to work? Find out what's going to work for them so that you can be available when they're ready to follow up. And, don't be afraid to set that up around your schedule. Again, I usually talk to people early in the morning or later at night or maybe sometimes at lunchtime or when my kids are napping or laying down. I can set up some of those calls. But I don't let them dictate my schedule, so if I need them to kind of work within a specific window and they say, sure, I'm ready to talk tonight about that, then I'll say, great, how about 8:30, right? So I'll set up a specific time that we're going to connect either online or on the phone to be able to go through their questions. So do that with each step of the process and you'll find yourself not getting in that position where you don't hear from people or you don't know how to follow up or they've kind of fallen off because they can't fall off. And all you're doing at that point, you're not being pushy, you're not being aggressive, you're just following up and doing what they asked you to do. They said they're available and asked you to call them at 8:30, you're going to call them at 8:30. You're just being there and being available and having good follow-up. So you'll find that people like for you to run the process. They want you to be specific and, it helps to alleviate that uneasiness of, I didn't hear back from them. How do I follow up? When do I follow up? I don't want to be too pushy. This is a friend of mine. It just takes all of that away. So then when you interact and if they say yes, you're ready to help them move to the next steps. And if they happen to say no or they're not quite ready yet, that's good. You'll be able to cover that and set up the next steps and you'll move forward and your friendship won't be damaged and you guys can feel good about each other every time you see each other and it takes away that awkwardness. So I hope that helps and to kind of close up that process because the follow-up is so key, but what's key to the follow-up process that we sometimes don't do is again set up that specific day and time or really set up those specific interactions with people. So I do the same thing when they're ordering. Hey, I'm going to send you the directions for you to order your 21-day fix. Are you able to do that today? And if they are, I'll go ahead and send them the instructions and then I always ask them to forward me their confirmation email back so I know that they've completed the step. Again, so if I don't hear from them, then it gives me a reason that I can follow up with them. Hey, I didn't see your confirmation. And if they say they're not quite ready or that they need to wait till Friday for payday or whatever it is, I don't send that information right then. I'll create a follow-up on Friday, and I'll send them that information again, so that that process is closed up, but also I've created those touch points to be able to help them best. So implement those things, because it's those little things that become really critical and can help you to speed up your process and to really close your process, so that you have good closure with people and you're not left with awkward dead ends and things like that too. So thank you again for joining our call. Super excited. Again, this is a huge, important topic, and the better we can help people with their nutrition, the better the results are going to be. They're going to be excited about you and your coaching and your groups and the products in general. And again, create long-term Shakeology users, because it's a great product. You've got your experience. You know how it's helped you. Provide that to everyone else and help them to understand how great of a benefit this is to add into their health long-term as a great thing. So lead with nutrition, have fun with it, be curious, keep learning, and thank you, and have a great night.